Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Look at you guys all jumping on so fast. All right, hang tight here a second. I'm just going to make sure that everything is in order. We're going to give it a moment to get started. So for those of you who are watching this as a replay, you can go ahead, as always, scroll through a couple minutes as everybody gets situated and starts to jump on. So hopefully everybody got the message today. I sent out the email earlier, about 2 hours ago, along with but just watch everybody, because sometimes that email goes to promotions or spam. So you might want to check your emails and mark, the Animal Reiki lady as someone safe to receive emails from, because I promise not to ever spam you. I have to do something about the whole straw thing. I got this nice new mug for my water, and yeah, the straw's huge. Hello, everybody. Brooke, Sharon. I am going to Jody, Kimmy, Sherry, Jess. All right, so good to see you guys. Hello. You still didn't get it, Sharon. I don't know what's going on. I know that I have your email, so I will double check again. But you're here regardless, so just made myself a note to double check for Sharon. So let me, as everybody jumps on, it's good to see you guys. So nice to spend Monday evenings with you. What a beautiful day. I had my very first day of being full-time grandma. So I'm going to be the nanny to my granddaughter as my daughter-in-law goes back to work. And this was the very first day today. So it was so beautiful to be able to spend my day completely at the whim of my beautiful granddaughter, and just having no responsibility whatsoever other than to take care of her. So it was absolutely awesome. So hello, Meadowlark and Katerina and Kimberly. And I think we see everybody. Yep. So welcome everybody who is going to watch tonight. As promised, I have a little introduction to Reiki and Animal Reiki. And you're going to be getting like the highest level. When I teach a course of Reiki or Animal Reiki, we're talking 6 to 8 weeks as a course, and then there's continued practice throughout that. So I'm going to give you the highest level I possibly can and try to explain it in a way that is easy to understand for people who have never heard of Reiki before. If you've listened to any of my videos, you probably have at least heard me say the word, but maybe not understood what it is. So I will give you a brief explanation of that. You're going to get a high level introduction to Reiki and Animal Reiki. I'll give you a little demonstration about Reiki itself. And then I have my trusty little teddy bear here who is going to be my surrogate as I demonstrate how you might be able to share a little bit of Reiki healing energy with your own animals who currently share your home. And then we're going to close with a little exercise of how you might use Reiki to create a connection between yourself and your animal companion who has crossed to the other side. Most of you who watch this channel, the whole purpose of this channel is to be able to help people work through all the grief, to cope with, manage, and heal after the loss of an animal companion, an animal's crossed to the other side of life. And I speak from experience, and I'd never, ever dreamed that I'd be able to share this type of information, but I've just done, it's the animals. For those of you who send me thank you messages, I promise you, when I do the little Reiki exercise tonight, it's the animals who come through and the animals who just use my voice to share the message. So hi, Tracy, how are you? And Kathy, good to see you. Let me kind of explain how this is going to work. Oh, Tracy, I think it's going to be Mason this evening, and I'll explain why in just a little bit. I want to do as these have evolved. So this is if you include the test video I did at the very beginning, we're like the 9th time around. So I'm kind of getting a flow. And the way that I'd like to do this, after I've gone back and watched some of the videos back again, I see a lot of, I focus a little bit too much on the comments. So here's what I really want to do. I encourage you guys to comment. So go ahead, and the video has me backwards. I think the comments are going to be over here for you. Go ahead and comment to each other. And if there's anything that you want to share, I get it. I love to jump on live streams. There are some people that I follow, and I love to be typing the comments and sharing. And it's so much, you get so much good information, and it feels good to share. But I would like to, especially when it comes to delivering the information about Reiki, kind of keep it on a linear track. So going forward, what I'm going to do is do a little welcome like this, explain what to expect for the evening, and then we'll go through the teaching and the messages and the reading for whatever animal we're going to do a reading for. And Tracy, the reason that I have picked Mason this evening is because I know that you understand Reiki, and I know when I use this demonstration, you'll understand exactly what's happening and how it works. And I have no previous like I didn't do a meditation with Mason. I want to be able to show what comes through for me when I do a Reiki meditation. And then what we'll do is a Q&A at the end. So save all your questions. If you type in some questions, and I'm going to take a quick look through before I begin, but save all your questions until the end. And if you are watching this as a replay, you can go ahead and comment with questions because it pops up for me. I'll get a little notification that you've asked a question, and I'll try to respond with a comment. Otherwise, I'll save the Q&A till the end, and you might have some questions, and I'm happy to use that to kind of fill in any of the information that I miss. I've taught Reiki now for so long that it becomes second nature to me. So I want to make sure to try and explain this in a way that everybody can understand. Okay, so before we get started with Reiki and Animal Reiki, let me look at the comments real quick. Katrina, that would be amazing. Yeah, I think that you're talking about Mason, and it's very vulnerable for me to do this on camera and not do my meditation ahead of time and like do my automatic writing. With my universal big pen, my direct connection to spirit and the other side. But it is a bit vulnerable to do it live and without any preparation other than being able to share Reiki. Oh my gosh. Well, now we're really going to get, hi, Nana. Oh yeah. So if you can't tell, I'm now blushing because I have a family member on this evening. So very cool. And I'm gonna share a little bit of vulnerable information, Nana, about Reiki and some of the things that I first saw you practicing when you were doing your osteopathy. Did I say that right? Okay. And who else do we have? Oh, Jen, good to see you. Kelly. All right, we got the whole family going on here. He's happy to help. Thanks, Tracy. Thank you very much. Okay. So Nunya, hello. I'm going to continue now, and I hope that I haven't missed anybody saying hello in the first few minutes, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh, Kelly's laughing. Thank you. Yep. So here goes. Let's talk about Reiki and Animal Reiki. And again, either write down your questions and so you can type them in at the end, or just save them for the end. Don't forget what your question may be as we talk about Reiki. What Reiki is energy healing. Short, sweet, and to the point. The word means universal energy. And what we do when we practice Reiki, I first learned to practice Reiki traditionally with humans. It didn't cross my mind to be able to practice with animals. And what it is a system that was developed in Japan in the early 1900s by a man named Usui Mikao. And Usui created this system meant for stress reduction. It was meant for healing, personal healing. And it was a series of hand placements that were placed on humans, on the body. So there's the energy centers. We'll talk about that in a second. And a series of hand placements that help somebody release stress and relax. So what happens, and I made myself some notes here so I make sure that I cover everything. It's designed to help calm and balance and release stress. It's kind of a cycle. Stress, and we are stressed out human beings. I think now more than ever, we are stressed out human beings. When we have so much stress in our lives, it causes physical illness and sometimes injury. So stress causes that physical illness within us. Reiki allows us to calm ourselves and calm our bodies, release the stress so that our bodies can do what they naturally know how to do, which is heal. There are hospitals now, many. I used to have like a list of a half a dozen hospitals. Now there are so many hospitals that utilize Reiki as a complementary practice. And we're going to talk, that's also how it works with animals. It's in conjunction with medical care. So Reiki is a way to help somebody's energy be balanced, to help their stress be reduced, to help their bodies to relax, so that the medical treatments they receive are much more effective. It helps manage pain. It helps manage confusion. It helps pain, confusion, anxiety, all those things that arise when we have a physical illness. Reiki helps reduce that. So it's part of a holistic, collaborative part of your medical care in the broad picture of things. Some organizations that I do want to mention are like the Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic. And those are two of the major, most well-known hospitals, but now there are so many. You can look it up online. And we'll talk about skepticism in a minute. The Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic use it as part of their care for, let's say, cancer treatment. That's the example I'm going to use. If somebody's being treated for cancer, and as soon as we hear the word cancer, our mind just spirals right down to the very bottom. And the worst possible outcome when we hear that word. And it's whether that diagnosis is for ourselves or for one of the animals who shares our home. Our little human brains go immediately to the worst case scenario. So Reiki is a way to help manage that. Humans, and I want to keep on track, so I'm going to follow my notes here. Humans are generally comforted by touch. And what we do is place our hands on different parts of the body that we call energy centers. And the goal is to help balance those energy centers. If anyone has ever heard of chakras, that's in the Hindu tradition. The Hindu tradition teaches us that we have 7 major chakras that are in different parts of the body: the crown, the third eye, the throat, heart, solar plexus. It just runs in a channel down the center of the body. And with Reiki, we hold our hands in certain places. A person will lie on a massage table. We'll hold our hands in certain places over the body and set the intention that we are going to help that body balance, help the body release stress, help the body be able to do what it naturally does, which is heal. Our body knows how to heal. Our cells are regenerating all the time. You don't have to tell your heart to beat. You don't have to tell your lungs to breathe. Your body knows what needs to be done, but we get in our own way. And when we have an illness or an injury, I picture it as spikes. Like our whole system is out of alignment. In the system of Reiki, I love it for its beautiful simplicity because we only focus on 3 energy centers. We have our head, we have our heart, and we have what we call the hara, H-A-R-A, which is your core. And that's where your sacral and root chakras will be located if we were talking about the chakra system. The real goal, and you don't even need to know any of that. The goal is that we want to be able to balance ourselves, to get ourselves balanced, grounded, harmonized, so that we are not all over the place and stressing ourselves out and causing our body even more physical illness. So what do we use this for? We can use this for ourselves. We can use it to help our own bodies heal from an illness or an injury. We can use it to help others. So that's how I first learned it, because a family member of mine was suffering from an illness that I wanted to be able to help with. And we can also use it for our animal companions. And that's where Animal Reiki comes in, which I will get to in just a moment. All right. So what do we, when I first learned the system of Reiki, and I'm going to bring up the skepticism right now. So Nana, this is where you may laugh at this if I haven't already told you this before. Skepticism is, okay, energy healing, really? Like energy healing, you're going to beam your hands at me and magic is going to fly from your hands and fix whatever's going on with my body? Well, no, not quite. And I'm going to give you a little sample, a little demonstration that you guys can follow along with. It does, however, recognize that there is a universal energy. And if anybody has followed any metaphysical teachings of any kind, any spiritual teachings, even scientific teachings, now recognize there's been a beautiful blend of science and spirituality recently with the understanding of quantum physics, that there is this amazing field of energy that surrounds everything, and that everything is made of this energy, whether it is my little teddy bear or me or my universal magic pen. Everything is made of energy, and it's about frequency and vibration. And when our frequency is calm and centered and grounded, and we are vibrating at a really high level, as in full of love and peace and calm and all those really higher gratitude, all those beautiful higher emotions, our body rings like a beautiful bell, and it does everything that it's supposed to do. When we are in all those denser emotions, perhaps we're in pain or going through something, some type of anxiety or grief, it's out of alignment. And so we just focus on those 3 energy centers and keeping ourselves calm. Where was I going with that? Oh, skepticism. So energy healing. I'm going to take you through this exercise in a minute. There was quite some time ago. It was probably at least 20 years ago. It was that long ago. I was still stuck in my type A corporate control freak, knows everything, woman of the year, had to do everything kind of attitude. That's who I was. Everything. I had to be able to do everything by myself, didn't ask for help, had to be able to do it all on my own. And everything had to be under my control and type A, focused, that kind of thing. And a member of my family, Nana, told me that she was taking a class in energy healing. And I will tell you that internally, I don't think I did it externally, but internally, I rolled my eyes. I was like, energy healing? Seriously? Energy healing? I promise I laughed, and I probably shared that story with people saying, energy healing. I don't understand what energy healing is. I didn't understand, and how much it has changed when I finally learned what Reiki really is. Reiki's a word. Reiki means universal energy. It's a Japanese word, rei and ki, universal energy, ki, chi, prana, whatever you want to call it. It's that energy. It wasn't until I practiced it for myself that I understood, which is why I want to take all of you through a little exercise this evening. When I began to practice it for the family member who was going through this illness, a chronic illness, when I learned the system of Reiki and how to focus my energy, how to focus myself, and this is where it really becomes important for our animal companions, we set aside everything. It doesn't matter whether you're working with a person or whether you're working with an animal. My whole focus is them. Nothing else matters. And think about your beautiful dogs, your beautiful cats, those of you who have horses, bearded dragons, whatever it may be. You're giving them your undivided attention for a period of time, and nothing else matters but them. They are the one that matters. And when I began practicing Reiki for the very first time with this family member, and the very first time that I began to place my hands on these energy centers, and I decided, I set an intention and I made a decision that they were going to be my whole focus. And I filled my heart with love. Energy is love. You look up the definition of energy in the dictionary. They don't have a good definition for it. No scientist can actually explain what energy is, but I know what I feel. And energy is love. And I don't just mean the emotion. I mean, it is a substance. Love is that thing that flows to, through, and around everybody. And I set the intention that I was going to focus all that love. I was going to share all that love with my beautiful family member. And I remember placing my hands, and all of a sudden I felt heat. I felt heat. I saw colors. There was tingling sensations as I placed my hands over certain parts of the body. There was, at one point, there was a sense of emptiness, like I couldn't describe it, but I knew right away that it was an area of the body that needed a little bit of focus from me and a little bit more attention. And when I was done that very first Reiki session, and somewhat surprised because I didn't expect any of that, when the person I was working with said to me, "Wow, what was that?" That's when I knew that energy healing was a real thing, because we are made of energy. And we all have auras. And if you think about what an aura is, sometimes you see these pictures, right? It's these rainbow colors that flow around us. Oh, your aura looks so beautiful today. You're covered in a beautiful purple and blue light. And that is very, very true. But it's more than that. It is the energy that your body is transmitting. And when we are in pain or grief or anxiety, we're transmitting darker energy. And Reiki helps us smooth that out. It helps us replace that. I don't like the word negative, but I'm not sure of a better word right now, that denser. It helps us replace that denser energy with light, calm, beautiful, healing energy. So that's really what Reiki is. Without going through I could teach you all the hand positions, and I could teach you how to breathe and how to hold and when, and working with the energy body. You don't need to know that right now. If you'd like to learn that, you can jump into a class and I'll be happy to teach you. But I want to show you that everybody can do this. So before we begin to talk about animals, I'm just going to look at the comments real quick again, because I saw some stuff. Oh, you guys are being great. Awesome. Thank you. Holding the comments till the end. So let's do this exercise together. What I would like you to, I just want to give you a sense of the energy that is always with you all the time. So those of you who can, if you're in a place, if you're driving or anything like that, operating heavy machinery, don't take your hands off the wheel. But if you can, I'd like you to put your hands out by the side, and I want you to do jazz hands. You know that? Like, I want you to shake your hands. Just shake those hands, shake them. We're going to shake them for like at least 10 seconds. I want you to just shake your hands right now so you can really feel it. You know, you can feel that air moving right around your hands. Shake, 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 shake. Shake them some more. Let my rings feel like they're going to fly off my fingers. So keep shaking those hands. Shake, 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 shake them, shake, shake. Now I want you to do this right here. The center of the palm is actually one of the minor energy centers of the body. And I want you to just touch, tap, 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 tap some more, tap as much, and you're making a real, not heavy tapping, but you're tapping, definitely tapping. Now take your hands like this, and I want you to rub them together. Okay, rub, rub, rub. Come on, you're creating some friction there, and we're going to feel a little bit of heat. That's just friction, but you're going to feel something more too. Okay. All right. Now I want you to, without taking your hands apart, I want you to slowly stop. And you can feel a tingling sensation most likely. And I want you to gently start to pull your hands apart. Just gently. Now concentrate on the air between your hands. How does that feel? Does it feel like there's a denser energy? Not trying to pull in and out. Take your hands like this, in and out. You can take one hand. You can take both hands. Feel that energy. Play with it a little bit. You can make a little ball out of it. We sometimes call this the Reiki ball. You can really play with it like it's Play-Doh, like it's elastic, like there's something in there. That is the energy that is around us all the time. Our energetic body extends about an arm's length off of our body. When you're working with a horse, it's about a leg. So think about how long a horse's leg might be. That's about how many feet around their body stretches their energy center. The animals who share our home have the same type of energy centers, have the same type of energy body that surrounds their little bodies. And we're going to talk about sharing this with animals now. Okay, let me just take a quick drink of water here. Oh, all that energy I worked up. I'm just going to take this silly straw out of here. This is one enormous cup of water. Oh, well. Okay. So let's talk about animals. Our animals experience the animals who share our home, that's what we're going to talk about first. They experience the same levels of stress, the same kinds of stressors that we do, only with a little bit different experience. The animals who share our home are very sensitive to our states of mind. So when we are stressed out, we have a tendency to stress our animals out. If there is something that makes us depressed or anxious or stressed, our animals pick up on that and they reflect it. There was a study done by a university in Australia. I want to say it's Monash University, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, where they did a study with electrodes of dogs and their human companion. And they concluded at the end of this study that within 1 minute of a person entering the room of their dog, the dog's heart rate matched their human companions. Whether it was calm or stressed, either way, it doesn't matter. Within 1 minute, the dog's heart rate matched. There's another word I'm looking for that I can't think of, but the dog's heart rate matched that of their human. So when we come home from work and we have been in stress all day at work, we drive in traffic and it's been a heck of a commute, and we walk through the door with our heart rate and our attitude and we're already stressed out, like, give me the bottle of wine already. Our dogs and cats, I don't know the study about cats, but they pick up on that immediately and they reflect that back. And what we know from human condition is that stress causes illness and injury. The same thing happens for our animals. When they become stressed, their body reacts with illness and injury. So Reiki, I'm going to share with you guys tonight a little practice that you can do with you and your own animal companions. And then we'll talk about connecting on the other side of life. When where was I? Lost my train of thought. Okay, so when our animals are stressed, whether it is a reflection of our own stress or whether they've got an illness or an injury, they've got something going on that they can't vocalize. Our animal companions who share our home can't tell us that, oh gosh, I've got a pain in my right side. I don't know what's going on here. Or my tummy really feels upset. Don't we wish that they could tell us those things? There are often times when we can pick up cues that tell us that they aren't feeling well, but there are other times when they don't know what to say. A toothache, they have a hard time explaining anything like that. So Reiki is a beautiful way to kind of help them manage that because they get confused. They don't understand why their body is in pain or what's going on. And they turn to us for assistance. And Reiki is one beautiful way. We always do it in conjunction with veterinary care, just the same as with medical care. Reiki can help put their body into such a state that the medical care becomes more effective, and it helps them. It helps reduce pain, promote healing, overcome grief for pets, anxiety, depression, fireworks. Oh, it's great for fireworks. Okay, so anxiety, injury, or surgery. If an animal has to have a surgery, that's also something an animal has no understanding of. With a human being, we can at least talk them through it. Okay, here's what you can expect. Here's what you're going to do. Here's what's going to happen. All an animal knows is that we've taken them to a clinic where we've anesthetized them and they're going to wake up in pain. Reiki to the rescue. That's exactly what we do in those situations is Reiki. All right, I'm going to give you the other ways that we share Reiki, and then I'll do a little demo for you. We share, abused and rescued animals. Wonderful way to help them heal. I love to, and my students will, it's part of their practice, go to rescues and shelters in order to assist the animals there in working through the trauma that they may have experienced. We do meditations. We create a really quiet, open space for them. I call it opening your heart, quieting your mind, opening your heart. It means turning off all those thoughts that go through your head all day long, just like some of you are thinking right now. I already know it. I wonder if I left the milk out. Did he remember to feed the dog? I mean, all those things that go through our head. I have to get gas. Gosh, I need air in my tire. All those things that are constantly running through our head. We focus on quieting those. And that's why I like to say, you have my undivided attention. That's what I tell the animal that I'm working with. You have my undivided attention. None of that stuff matters. I call it quieting my mind. And then I just turn on the love. So become a little Care Bear, turn on your heart and just let it beam love, fill yourself with whatever it takes for gratitude, love, just let it fill your heart. And that's how when I go to a shelter, I will sit down with an animal. I will just focus on them. I sometimes think lots of positive thoughts. I always hold them as perfect in my mind. Just like us, they don't need pity. That's the last thing an animal needs is our pity or our sympathy. What they need is for us to accept them just the way they are. You're perfect just the way you are. I see them in my mind as perfect. I hold them in my mind as whole. I used the example of a foster that I had who had an amputation. I would just picture him in my mind, running and jumping and playing. And it didn't matter how many legs he had. He could just run and jump and play. And I held that in my mind as a way to help him heal. So when we go to shelters and rescues, it's all about setting peace. So letting them be peaceful, letting them be calm, letting them know that they've got a forever home waiting for them, that there are humans out there that can be trusted. And it just keeps everything nice and calm. And there are times when a whole shelter has gone quiet. All those barking dogs, when you can hear a shelter go quiet, you know that you have made a difference. And then what I like to think of in terms of shelters and rescues is that when we help an animal to achieve a level of calm, they become more adoptable. And they get adopted quicker, and it makes space for another animal who needs to come in and be helped. So that's how we work with the abused and the rescued. Also, we work with wildlife and zoos. Takes a whole different set of techniques, and we're not going to go through all those. But to be able to work with animals in the wild and to be able to work with animals who are captive in zoos, there are some beautiful practices with Reiki that lets them know that we see them as individuals. They are individuals with souls, individuals who have preferences and choices, and we share Reiki with them. And then ultimately, we can share Reiki in a way that allows us to make a connection with animals who have crossed to the other side of life. And I never expected that. It was not even on my radar that would happen. It just happened as a natural part of quieting my mind and opening my heart. And every day when I would practice this with, because I do, this is an everyday thing now for me. I live sharing Reiki with animals. And it just opened the door all of a sudden when I realized once Lucy crossed that I was still in connection with her, and that when I would do a Reiki meditation that I could sense her and feel her and receive information from her. It changed the way that I view death in general. Like that, it's what started all of this information, all this channel. It started with Lucy. When Lucy crossed and I realized that I still had a connection with her and that I could share information that would help other people heal and not be afraid and not be worried that their animal got stuck or that they did something wrong or that they wouldn't be forgiven or that their animal didn't want to be with them anymore. No, they started sharing with me the most amazing information. And that's what I share with you guys now. And it all starts with Reiki. Okay. So we did the exercise with the hands. That's for us to know what that energy feels like. And when you do that, I'm going to share with you first. The very first thing that I think you should do is share healing energy with yourself. You can't heal anybody else until first you work on yourself. And it doesn't matter what the practice is. Until you learn to help yourself, you're not going to be able to help others. And working through grief, one of the things that I have found is being able to help other people work through grief helped me heal almost completely from any grief that I experienced with the loss of my animal companions. Because now I just know they're always with me. They're always with me. And there's no sadness left anymore. I sometimes miss their little physical bodies, but that depth of grief it's gone. It's no longer there. Okay, so self-Reiki. You can do this for grief, anxiety. You can do it for any type of illness or injury that you have. It's something that I do every single day, what I would call a non-negotiable, which means that nothing gets in the way. For some people, going out for a morning run is their non-negotiable. For some people, it may be evening prayer, which prayer, and it's all related. It's all the same kind of thing. It's connecting with source energy, with God, Allah, Buddha, spirit, whatever you want to call it. That's what it comes down to. So I make this a non-negotiable every morning. Before I get out of bed, I set the tone for my day and I set the tone for my body. And I do this quick little exercise that I'm going to share with you, and you guys can follow along with me if you want, and you're not going to get it wrong. Reiki is universal energy, and I'm going to give you a couple little hand positions that you can do on your own body. But if you were to be lying in bed this evening practicing the hand positions and you go, oh no, I wasn't supposed to do my throat first, what's going to happen? Nothing. Everything is fine. I love to go with my intuition. There are some times in the morning when all I do is want to just hold my hands on my heart and thank God for all the animals in my life. That is often some of the only thing that I'll do. I will hold my hands on my heart and be so grateful for the birds that come to my patio, for my beautiful gypsy, for all the animals I get to work with on the other side. I just let my heart be filled with gratitude, and that is enough of a healing session for me. But let me show you what to do. So there are just like 5 hand positions that we would do. So I would place my hands over my eyes like this. And I take 3 or 4 breaths. And I'm focused on right now, I set the intention that nothing else matters but me. I get this right now. This is my time. So just like I would focus on my animal companions, right there for self-healing, it's my time. And I get to focus on me for 5 minutes is all it takes. So I hold my hands here and I take 3 or 4 breaths. I'm going to kind of speed it up a little bit for demonstration purposes. And then I move my hands to my temples and I take 3 or 4 breaths. And our temples, you can almost feel like the space between your fingers when you do that. And I automatically close my eyes, guys. It just happens for me. Then I put one hand at the base of my neck and one hand on my forehead. And I think about opening my third eye. Your third eye, we've talked about this before, is the pineal gland. It's in the center of your brain. And I just focus on that becoming wide awake because that's how I connect to all my animals. It's how I connect to God. It's how I communicate. And then I move to my throat. And I, again, 3 or 4 breaths. Sometimes I set an intention. If I've got to do videos that day or if I've got to do a little talk, I will focus on opening my throat chakra. And then I move to my heart. And this is my favorite one, just holding my hands on my heart. And if you choose to, you can just go right down to the rest of your body. You can hold your hands over your solar plexus. You can hold your hands over your navel, your core, and just set the intention that you are going to be grounded and centered. And then throughout the day, things happen for us, right? Throughout the day, little things happen that get us out of sorts. I like to have a little, I can't think what you would call a reminder. So a little reminder, and it might just be tapping my fingers. When I realize that I have gotten myself stressed out over something, I'll just remember, oh, I know how to get myself right back to center again. I don't need all these stressors. I'll just go right back to center. But I like to do that self-healing session every morning. Or if you're going to be taking your dog to the veterinarian, or you want to be able to share a healing practice with your cat, or whatever, you might want to get yourself centered first. So you might do those hand positions just to get yourself grounded so that you can begin to work with your animal companion. And then what would you do for your animal companion? So let's just use my little surrogate bear here. And I'm going to pretend that this is a little puppy dog. And we can let our animal companions, they can roam freely. So a human being would lay on a table, right? A human being would lay on a table, and I would hold my hands over energy centers and work with their energy body. There is no, other than like my dog, my grand dog, Eleanor, who I know would sit on the table for as long as I asked her. No dog is going to sit on a massage table. No cat is going to sit on a massage table for 60 minutes and let you work with their energy centers. They are very, very in tune. So when we begin to work with their energy centers, they tell us. They'll often place their body. Recently, just this past week, when I was at the 3 Sevens Animal Sanctuary, we watched as the horses, like there was a horse that completely turned his backside to the person who was sharing Reiki. So horses will, they'll place their body. All animals will direct you. They'll guide you because they're very open to this. They don't ever overthink. They're not skeptics. They are well aware of their own energy and our energy. Our animals are actually much more aware than we give them credit for. So let's just say, though, that it is my little kitty cat, and my kitty cat has come up to sit on my lap because she loves to have Reiki. And many cats enjoy Reiki. Some cats don't at all. We let them choose. If the cat wants to get up and leave the room, if the dog, like my Jack rarely, he often declined. More often than not, Jack declined actual Reiki sessions. Lucy, on the other hand, loved them. Oh my gosh, she would sit in my lap and just let me hold her all day long. But all I do is I hold my hands over part of their body. Now, I'm only using one hand, but I would generally use two, maybe at the base of their neck, or if a dog might automatically roll over, dogs will frequently roll over, and then I might just place my hand on their heart. I hold my hand in place with no other thought than that I am holding a space of love for them. I focus on balance and calm and peace. So you can kind of see this a little bit. I might just hold one hand at the base of the neck and let the other hand gently pet them or pat them or just work with their energy body. And if the cat were to get up and walk away, I would still stay focused. I would focus solely on that cat. I would focus just on their well-being, sending them love, letting them know they are perfect. I understand who they are. I accept them as an individual. Their preferences, whatever their choice is theirs. And I offer the healing energy of Reiki to them to use for their highest good, however that may be. I don't have to know what the problem is. I may know what the problem is. I may know that my dog just had a little surgery. I may know that my dog just had a dental. And so I'm sending that beautiful healing energy to help them be free of pain. But I don't have to know what that is because Reiki energy, universal energy, love, it goes where it needs to go. It knows exactly what needs to be done, which is why I think every single one of you could do this if you chose to. You're not going to get it wrong. You can't overdo it. You're not going to, like, there's no evil spirits that come in or anything like that because Reiki is love. It's love, and it vibrates at the highest possible frequency. And we simply set the intention that our beautiful animal companion accepts this loving, healing energy for their highest good, that we trust it will go where it needs to go. And it's that simple. It does not have to be more complicated than that. I teach all kinds of techniques. I teach different techniques for different animals. When we go through the class, we talk about different illnesses and injuries and sessions and how often you would do it. It's all good. If you want to learn all those details, I'd be happy to teach you. But if you are just going to be sharing with you and your animal companion, you just focus on sending beautiful, loving, healing energy and let them trust that Reiki is going to heal what needs to be healed. And it's that simple. Okay, so that is for our pets. We're going to set you down over there, little bun or little teddy bear. And then what about for the other side? What I discovered when I began to practice Reiki, and we'll be taking questions and answers in just a minute, what I began to discover, and this is where we'll do the little session for Mason. And this happened with Lucy. When I quieted my mind and I let go of all the fear, I let go of the doubt, I let go of worry, I let go of my own guilt, because the only person who holds you guilty is yourself. I let go of it all. And I simply said to myself, I am going to let, I think I remember asking Lucy to come into my dream. I know that that's what I did, was I asked her to come to me in a dream. But the way that I do this now, and this is how I'll do this for Mason, and you guys can do this as well. This is what I do for all of you. When I might have to write, Tracy, I might have to write, I can already kind of feel Mason here. What I do is simply close my eyes. I often put my hands in prayer position. This is called Gasho in the Reiki system. I hold my hands in Gasho. I close my eyes. I'm already feeling tears. Oh my goodness, Tracy, this doesn't happen so often. Oh, Mason wants so much to be sitting in your lap. He wants you to know that he is sitting in your lap. Okay, getting ahead. Mason, hang tight, buddy. I simply close my eyes. I let my heart fill with love. Love and gratitude, that is all that matters. Nothing else matters. I am so grateful for every animal that I connect with. And I just let that love fill. And you can do this. You can do this. Trust yourself. Suspend your disbelief. Trust that your animal companion wants to speak to you as much as you want to speak to him or her. And when we focus on love, the connection happens. And trust what comes through. I immediately begin to write. So right now, Mason is making me cry with pure love. It's one of the strongest feelings I've felt in a long time. My mouth is watering. Okay, so that's another things our animal companions will use anything they possibly can to share these messages. Including all of our physical senses. Right now, my mouth is watering, and it's almost nausea that's making my mouth water, and I don't know what that is. So what I do, and you'll know your own animal companion. So when you're doing this for your own animal companion, you'll know right away that you've made the connection. Like I knew instantly that Lucy was with me. I could sense her. I could feel her. Tracy, what is with the mouth watering? It's really, really, it's almost like drooling. I don't think cats drool, but that's the kind of sensation I'm getting. But I'm getting that it was a sense from illness. And there's a thirst there too. Like I really need to take a drink. The water tasted funny. The water tasted really funny. So when you are connecting with your own animal companion, you can do a couple of things. You can simply be with them, which is one of the most beautiful feelings, to know that they're still with you. Just to know they are still with you is enough to help you heal. They want you to heal. They want you to know that life doesn't end. They want you to know that just because they're not in their physical body, they didn't die. There's no such thing as death. They simply transition to another form of energy, and that energy is accessible to you. You can connect with it by using the system of Reiki. And that just happens to be what I use. I mean, Reiki opened all the doors for me for all of the beautiful psychic extrasensory things. Reiki is what opened the door for me because it taught me how to turn this off and turn that on. So when you want to connect with your animal companion, you can simply hold the space and let them come to you and be with you and fill your heart with love. And you may get a sensation, and you may feel chills, or you just may feel them with you. Or you can ask them things too. You can talk to them. You can share with them. You can ask them the same questions that you ask me to ask for you. you can say, am I forgiven? Because right, the answer will be yes, such a loud yes. Mason right now is saying yes, yes, yes. I don't know what necessarily that refers to, Tracy, but we'll explain what happens in just a minute. But I want to get through this for you guys so that if you would like to be able to try and make a connection with your animal companion, I encourage you to try it and keep on trying. Just because you might not make it the very first time doesn't mean that you won't. You'll eventually get there. I never thought that I could do this ever, ever, ever. Did I think I could do this? I always thought it was a gift that was only for special people. And now I know that we're all special people and that our animals are helping us. That's why this comes through this way. Our animals are here to help us make these connections so that we can rise up, that all of us can have this beautiful spiritual awakening, and they're going to be right by our sides. Then I do this for other people. And for other animals, I have learned now that I can connect with animals of all kinds, and sometimes they don't come through, but most times they do. And like Mason, I can already sense. I don't know Mason's size. I have a sense of what Mason looked like. But I sense that Mason believed that he was much bigger than he might have been. Like, I sense that Mason pictured himself as like the lion. I sense Mason pictured himself as a very large cat, full of strength and personality, and not just personality, but a little bit of attitude. And I'm getting just this visual of the way that he walked and carried himself, full of confidence. And what I do when I make these connections is I will ask them for some piece of evidence. I like to be able to show that the animal that I'm connecting with is truly Mason. And there are, so the mouth-watering thing, whatever was going on with that, the sense of nausea, the sense of illness, the need to drink water, but then that water tasted funny. And when the water tasted funny, that was a sign or a symptom. There's something there that I'm not quite getting. Mustard, what is coming through with yellow and mustard? And it's been coming through, and I don't know if that was a taste that he was getting, but I also have to keep in mind that sometimes the things that animals taste and smell aren't the same things. Our taste buds aren't the same. For example, dogs have fewer taste buds than humans, but I believe cats may have more. Dogs can smell better than humans. Cats can smell almost as good as dogs, but regardless. So I might ask Mason for a piece of evidence, and I'm getting a symbol, circles, like a spiral. I'm getting this glowing spiral, whatever that is. And Tracy, you can let me know if any of this makes sense to you. A smell of something burning, like some kind of weed burning. I don't mean weed. I mean like some kind of organic material burning. I'm getting that smell, like if we were to burn sage. That's the kind of smell that I'm getting, but it's not quite sage. This weird yellow mustardy vision is what I'm receiving also. Mason sees you all the time. Now, sometimes this is hard when I'm familiar with the person that I'm working with and the animal that I'm working with, but he's making this very clear to me. Every time you are at the cat shelter, he is there. Every single time. Have you ever felt him brush up against your legs? He wants you to know that he's there, and not just like looking through the eyes of the other animals. He is actually there right with you every time that you're at the animal sanctuary or the cat sanctuary. And he wants you to recognize that. He wants you to know that he's there right with you. And that there are some cats there that need a little bit of help, and he helps them. He speaks to them. He speaks to them and guides them, is what he wants you to know. And I'm just going to look real quick at some of the, no, I'm not going to look at the comments yet. I will look at the comments in just a minute. So don't forget to save your questions to the very end, especially if you have any questions about Reiki. Mason is a Reiki cat. Mason is giving me this picture of like sitting in a meditation, but jokingly, like he's totally got this whole Reiki thing down. And he is right there. Tracy, he's saying that now's the time. He's saying that now's the time, and that there's no reason to hold back. And I believe that's exactly the words that are coming through. Now's the time, and there's no reason to hold back. And I believe that is about bringing another animal into your life. I can't tell you to do that. I cannot, and I would not ever tell anybody to do anything. I can simply suggest to you what is coming through from me, from your animal companion on the other side. So I get this sense that Mason was highly confident, had a very specific way that he walked, believed that he was bigger than he was. In his mind, he was very big, like a wildcat kind of thing. He is a Reiki cat. He is so wise, and he is with you all the time, especially at the animal sanctuary, at the cat sanctuary, because he goes there specifically to assist some of the cats who have been more traumatized than others. And he speaks to them from the other side, and helps them. So every time you go there, you are bringing Mason with you, and that it's the time has come and not to hold back anymore. So Tracy, if you can, okay. I'm just looking for any comments from Tracy. If there's any questions that you want to ask, that's the other thing that I tell people. If you want a reading, it is an email to readformypet@gmail.com with the number 4, read4mypet@gmail.com, and include a picture and if there's any questions that you want to ask. So Tracy, if there's anything that you would like me to ask Mason, I'd be happy to do that. I did not look at the email. So if there are questions in your email that you sent me earlier, I will be sure to ask those, and I can always reply to you personally with that information. All right, so let's take a look now at questions and see what I can answer for people. And my hair's all over the place now, not paying any attention. All right, let's see. I have a dog I adopted. What ways can I calm her so she can feel comfy without needing the herbal treats and herbal dog nip? Okay. So Seashells, I'm not sure what your name is. She barks and doesn't listen to, she's a puppy and crate trained. Okay. So there's a couple things. I believe in complete holistic care, and my beautiful Gypsy loves her CBD treats. And I recommend CBD. There's like these beautiful CBD cookies that I highly recommend. I think that holistic care is truly holistic care. I am not personally fond of medication, but I do believe in that there are holistic treats that can be used. But in addition to that, it may take a little bit of time, but I would specifically spend time dedicated just to her, to sit with her in meditation. Now, meditation, people go, so I've got to sit there quietly, not necessarily. All you need to do is just focus on your breath, breathing in and out, keeping yourself calm. I will put links after this video is over. I'll put the links to my 2 videos that I have demonstrations for. I think I have 3 actually, 2 dog sessions and a cat. I'll put links to them all so that you can see in one of the videos, I do absolutely nothing. They are 2 wound up Weimaraners. And if anybody knows anything about Weimaraners, they're naturally hyper. And these dogs were so hyper. And I sat down, focused solely on them, set the intention in my mind that all they needed was calm and peace. And I sat there with my eyes closed. I pictured them as perfect, that they're perfect. I didn't think about how wound up they were, like, oh gosh, these crazy dogs. I just hold them as quiet, peaceful, calm. You keep that calm, steady space. As you watch the video, you'll see one of the dogs actually brings its bed over and lays the bed down next to me and goes to sleep. But it needs consistency. Just like going to the gym, it's not going to take once, it's not going to take twice. They're going to want consistent. So you might do it every day for a couple of weeks, and then you do it as necessary. And then you may do it ahead of fireworks, or you may do it in advance of going to the veterinary office, but it becomes a regular practice. So with Gypsy now, Gypsy knows now. That's the other thing. Gypsy will come up to me just about every single morning, sit in my lap, and place her head in my hands. She has no eyes. So I get this sense that she gets headaches. And she just has me gently place my hands. And she moves her head. I let her direct the whole session, and I just set everything else aside. I dedicate this time to her. It's setting the intention just for her. Okay. When you said distance Reiki to an animal, okay. Great question, Kimmy. So we're going a little bit deeper. Is Reiki in the morning like meditation? Yeah, I would say it's like meditation. Some people get wound up by the word meditation. They think, I don't need meditation. I can't meditate. I don't know how to meditate. Yeah, meditation can be anything. Meditation can be, if you do like to jog, meditation can be running. Meditation can be a walk in nature. Meditation can be vacuuming, singing, playing a musical instrument, drawing, coloring, whatever helps you quiet that nonstop chatter in your brain. I personally just my morning meditation is non-negotiable. I like to put my little earbuds in, and I sometimes will turn on a soft meditation music, but I focus on just that calming. And I call it stepping. Before I step out of bed, I step into my Reiki shoes. And that's the way I start the day. So Kimmy has brought up something that we really didn't talk about, because we can go, there's so much more to the system of Reiki, distance Reiki, and do you ask permission? And we won't talk about distance Reiki this evening, even though connecting with animals across time and space, for those who have crossed on the other side, would be considered distance healing. I always ask permission of anybody, any living thing that I'm going to be sharing Reiki with, whether it's a plant, a pet, a person, as long as it begins with a P, plant, pet, person. No matter who I'm going to be sharing Reiki with, I always ask permission. How do you know that you've got permission from an animal? The way that you know you've got permission from an animal is I ask them, I invite them. So I may do this little meditation. You guys, I've done this once before, but if you would like to do this, I close my eyes, I focus on my breath, I fill my heart with love, and I like to imagine that out of my heart springs a little bridge. And I just picture this little bridge popping right out of my heart. And on the other side of the bridge is the animal that I'd like to work with. And I ask them, if you would like to come join me for this Reiki session, then just hop right across the bridge. Just come running across the bridge, and I can see it. I can see it in my vision, and I can feel it in my heart that they've accepted. Animals in person they'll get up and walk away if they are not interested in a Reiki session. Otherwise, they will often sit in your lap. Sometimes they fall asleep. They may just lounge nearby you. But yes, I do always ask someone's permission. Okay, so let me see what else I've got here. Have you gotten a sign that you know they received? You need to be Reiki attuned for animals like people. Okay, you're going way down. We have not talked about. So like I said, I'm giving you like the tip of the iceberg, and all the rest of it is still hidden under the water. I give attunements regularly. I believe anybody right now, if I believe that anyone has the ability to share Reiki. In the traditional system of Reiki, we do these things called attunements. It's a blessing that opens us up to be a channel for healing energy. Well, guess what? We are all channels for healing energy. If you open your heart to love and you ask God, Source, Buddha, Allah to please let you be able to share healing energy with your animal companion, you're attuned. You are naturally attuned to love. But yes, I do give the formal Reiki attunements for people and for animals. But I know that we all have this capacity within us. Tracy says he did drool, but when he was purring and happy. He had severe gastrointestinal issues that may have contributed to his passing. Yesterday was his adoption day and my first year without him. Oh my gosh, Tracy, that is just so that he says now is the time. Again, I'm not saying, I'm just letting you know what he's saying. Look into the CBD treats. Yeah, CBD, I think some places it's still so silly. CBD used to be hard to get anywhere, and in the States, in the US, it had to be some states allowed it, some states didn't. Now I'm pretty sure CBD is everywhere because it's hemp-based. It's not pot, it's not weed, but it's hemp-based, and that's where CBD comes from. And I think many countries now, the UK took a while, but I think it's now available in the UK also. I don't know where you're from, Seashells, but Tracy, I've been watching videos of him playing and running in circles, chasing his toys with a laser light. Oh, you had a reading with Danielle McKinnon. She's awesome. You guys, if that's the person who I trained with, Danielle McKinnon, when it comes to animal communication. So much the same as what you said. Okay, awesome. So that's another validation. When you can have somebody else sending you the same type of information, Mason is clearly communicating that. And that's another type of validation. And not that, honestly, at this point, I personally no longer need validation, but I love to be able to validate for the person who has requested that they are receiving information. Sensed him at the clinic. Awesome. Julie, how you doing? Good to see you. And Tracy always called him a lion. Yep. Isn't that funny that's over there, the lion. And his personality was big and confident. My whole block knew him. All right. I love that I love that kind of information, because it just gives other people as well the trust and the knowing that our animal companions are truly, they're God. They're on the other side, but they've got such amazing connection with us now, because they're pure positive love, and all they want to do is be able to help us experience that same kind of love. Okay, were there any other questions about Reiki? We've gone for an hour now. Thanks for all the love hearts, guys. I appreciate that. I'm just going to scroll back up here and see if I've missed anything. I don't think so. All right. So that was your introduction to Reiki, and we're going to continue on with these weekly things, and every time I'm going to have a new topic to share. But I know that you guys had asked for Reiki, so I just kind of wanted to give you that background. And it doesn't matter what you call it. It's healing energy that is everywhere, and we all have access to it. We all have the ability to heal ourselves. We all have the ability to, and I love medical care. We have wonderful doctors with wonderful skills and wonderful ability to help us, but we can also help ourselves. And if your animal companion, we're talking about here on this side of the veil right now, if your animal companion receives a diagnosis of some illness or injury that would normally send you into a downward spiral, anticipating the worst, you don't have to sit idly by. You can actually practice this healing energy techniques with your animal companion, or you reach out to somebody who knows Reiki and they'll be able to help you also. You don't have to sit idly by. You can take an active role in your animal's healthcare by being able to create a space for them that's full of peace and love and balance, and allows their body to be more receptive to healing. Okay, I just saw a bunch of things. Thank you. Oh, you guys are so welcome. I love sharing this stuff. I mean, I love sharing this stuff. I could talk about it all day long, and obviously I do, and I teach it too. You guys are so welcome. All right, we're going to head out, and thank you. Yes, thank you, Mason. I should say that. I should always say at the end of every single Reiki session, I always say thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me be part. Thank you for communicating with me. Thank you for coming across the bridge and just sharing this space with me. And even if a session only lasts for 5 minutes before a little kitty cat gets up and runs out of the room, I'm so grateful. So thank you guys as much as you are thanking me. Wish you would have known about Animal Reiki sooner. Hey, you know what? I didn't learn about Animal Reiki till I was well into my 50s, guys, well into my 50s. I was 52 when I first learned Reiki, and I didn't practice Animal Reiki for a couple years before I realized that I had this connection with animals, and now it's almost all animals. Okay, my friends, have a beautiful week, and I will wish I came across you before my, Nunya, it's okay. It's okay. And, our animals have crossed to the other side, and it's okay. It's totally fine. And if there is anybody who has an animal that's approaching end of life, you can always reach out to me, because I'll give you some guidance on that too. And I have some things that might be helpful for you, so that you can create a space. When animals are ready to cross to the other side, I like to use the example of Hunter. He's a golden retriever who I worked with for a while as he approached end of life. Just being able to say, I'm holding the space for you, and let me help ease your pain a little bit. And when it's time for you to go, you can go, and it can be easy and peaceful. And as much as your human companions love you and want to spend, they would love to go with you even, you guys are still going to be connected, and watch how peaceful they become when they realize that, okay, that's a whole topic for another day. All right, guys, have a great week, and I will see you guys all again next Monday. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.